The people who I've spoken to about this, it's a very individual process really. So for some people the principal aim is to address mood swings, but the more that I've come to understand it, that doesn't really make much sense if you don't have an idea of what a person's values are, what's meaningful to them, what's important to them. Really, therapy and personal recovery seems to work when what you're doing is in service of what's valuable to a person, what's meaningful. For some people, there is definitely a state that they want to get back to. For other people, it's about building a life and a meaningful life and a way of living that they want to engage with. And for me, recovery-focused therapy is to really make that a collaborative process where you explore together what it is that somebody wants, and not to have preconceived ideas. Because it's individualised, it's so different for people. Therapy can look very different for different people. It is about the person really, and our job is to bring what we know works from evidence, but to bring to bear on where the person wants to go with that. So it makes the evidence-based practice available to the person, but so that they're the guide, they can decide how we use that. If we are working with somebody where they may not have had their autonomy, their individuality, their value as a person may have not been emphasised in their life, it feels, I guess, both humbling and also very rewarding that value is something that you've worked towards together. You can speak to people who have maybe never really experienced true validation and being listened to, and to offer that, and when you know that that's maybe not been in somebody's life before, it's rewarding. All those experiences that are very normal, that people learn not to talk about, you can change that in therapy. You can change those rules and let people know that it is okay to talk about those things. Hopefully, one of the things that I hope people get from it is that they can have some of the conversations that they've always wanted to have, but maybe not been able to, or not felt that they could. But really emphasise that the individual has a role there in terms of making meaning out of that, as we all do, and to really honour that. I remember one person saying to me, "This is great, but why didn't I hear this 15 years ago?" Whilst it's very individually focused, we also want to offer people an evidence-based therapy, and to make people aware of what the evidence base is. And so there is a tension between being very individual focused, but it being therapy, it being something that we know we can say hand on heart that this is similar to what's been looked at in research trials. And I think for me that's about being open with the person. A client once actually taught me this. She could tell when I was moving out of the conversation and thinking about something in a textbook, or thinking about something that I'd learned, and for her, being listened to and me being present in that room was what she wanted. For other people, they want to know what works, and they want to learn about, say, cognitive behavioural therapy and what it is and how they could apply it. I think if we were to have more of a recovery focus in services, I think information, maybe this similar information would be given to people, but the way that it would be given would be slightly different. We're at the beginning of understanding a very complex process. So when somebody comes into services, rather than giving somebody information that is given as the truth, it's information that is given as, this is our best bet, this is what we know so far, but we want to work with you to understand how to use this information, how to individualise this. If we were to make recovery-focused principles more widespread, people would maybe realise that they've got more choice on this matter, that it's about being listened to and then negotiating what their package of care looks like. I suppose one thing is that in today's NHS we have a small workforce with a large amount of need. One of the things that we can do right now is rather than thinking about huge systemic change, is to think about, as a recovery-focused practitioner working with staff, is how can we just give little nudges to staff to just take a step back to think about that person's situation, what they've been through, what's happened in their life, what they've not had in their life, what they need, and is there anything that you can do to help towards that? Maybe spend a little bit longer to listen. And then we're distilling the recovery focused principles but into the very demanding environment that we face in the modern NHS.